All I know is that I wanted to build an audience, a huge audience, and build a connection with a lot of people. Like a deep family connection. A connection where, like, if I wanted someone killed, I can just, like, you know what I'm saying? And, I was going to talk about stupid things in theology and stupid people and fat people, But then it just, I don't know, it's just, shit's getting old, you know what I'm saying? Like, the internet's filled with that shit. And I say, if you want to bond with people, you have to find a topic that you're passionate about, that you can just, like, express your feelings, and because you're speaking from true passion, that's going to resonate to the audience out there. So what I think I want to do is I want to turn this into an MMA thing, where I talk about mixed martial arts, and hopefully I'll be able to get MMA fighters on the show and experts, and we'll build the whole thing. And if you guys like it, you can support me, and we'll kick ass, and we'll be the number one MMA show on the freaking internet. That's going to be our mission. We're going to be the number one MMA show on the internet. Taz Bitter MMA. Because why not? Freaking Joe Rogan, man. He's everywhere in my life. Like, it's so bizarre. Like, I don't actually seek him. He's everywhere. I play video games. I play the UFC game. He's doing the commentary. I turn on stand-up comedy. He's the comic. I listen to Brandon Schwab. He's talking with Brandon Schwab. I watch UFC. He's the commentator on the UFC. After the UFC, he's the one interviewing the fighters. Very bizarre how much space this man takes up in my head, who I've never even fucking met. I gotta say, I'm not that big a fan of his stand-up comedy. His color commentary is the best in all of MMA. In the history of MMA, nothing will ever match his color commentary. And what he's given MMA, I gotta give him credit for that. The education that he's given people. He's literally turned lay people into the most staunchest MMA fans. Millions. He's probably one of the major reasons the UFC was able to sell for $4 billion. That said, his acting and his stand-up comedy, some of his comedy is okay. Like when he's making fun of religious people, he does a bit on the Noah's Ark, and how even like a retarded kid wouldn't believe the Noah's Ark story. That shit was funny. But yeah, man, so many years this man's been relevant in my freaking life. Remember Fear Factor? He used to do a show called Fear Factor. Like every stage of my life, this guy is doing something in my head. Fear Factor was a sick show, man. That was a show where they would have 5 people, and they had to do 3 things. 2 of the 3 were like physical stunts. It was like the adult version of Double Dare. A lot more dangerous, though. And then the second to last stunt was usually a stunt where you had to do something grody, like you had to eat something, or you had to endure some type of like mental torture, like they put you in a pit of snakes and they literally bury you up to your like nostril, and snakes and freaking scorpions. And there was one where they made the dude eat a sheep's eyeball. I don't know if you had to do that shit in high school. Biology, you had to dissect a sheep's eyeball. There was one where they made the dude eat a sheep's eyeball. That happened. But that's not what got Fear Factor thrown off the air. What got Fear Factor thrown off the air? I'm gonna gag. Why am I even on this road? What got Fear Factor thrown off the air was they asked people to drink donkey. They asked, how can I phrase this? They asked people to drink donkey baby batter. You understand? That's what they did. And it was the most horrific thing ever. And I've seen The Amazing Atheist do things with a banana. This was worse than that. Oh. Anyhow, I wonder what I'd say to Joe Rogan if I met him. I think I would talk about Eddie Bravo, because I have a theory about Eddie Bravo. If you don't know, Eddie Bravo is like a Jiu-Jitsu. Well, you should know if you're listening to this show. It's now like an MMA show. He runs 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and he's considered a Jiu-Jitsu genius. Like, he's considered one of the most brilliant Jiu-Jitsu minds that's ever lived. I have a theory as to why he's good at Jiu-Jitsu. I don't think he's a genius. I kind of think he's a simpleton, no offense. But he gets a lot of ideas. Like, he's very creative. His brain is always running. And the thing about Jiu-Jitsu is, whenever he gets a dopey idea, he gets it tested out. And if it fails, he knows right away if it fails. But then, every now and then, he'll get something that succeeds, like the rubber guard. And all of a sudden, he's like, a hot pocket. He's the shit. But yeah, that's why you can have him going through life believing stupid shit like flat earth and all his crazy conspiracy theories, yet be an absolute genius in jiu-jitsu. Because in life, whenever he gets a stupid idea, normally there's nothing that can let him know right away that it's a stupid idea. He's not convinced by opposing points of view. Like, okay, well, you have an opinion, I have an opinion. We both have assholes, so what? It's totally different. You understand? But with jiu-jitsu, hey, he gets an idea. Hey, I can do this move while this person's got me tied up this way. Oh, really? Okay, let me try. If it doesn't work, I guess I can't. I'm going to shut up. Hey, but if it works, I've got something someone else didn't think of.